Up. Hello, everybody. It is almost noon on Black Friday Hangout. We'll get started in just a second. So if you got here early, you're watching me kind of get ready for the live Hangout, and we'll probably start in about a minute. I think my clock is about 1 minute, 1 minute and a half fast. So I am here early with bells on, with my I Am Black Business t-shirt on. Let me turn off my phones. I invite you to turn off your phone as well. Black Friday Hangouts are pretty fast and furious because it's part training and it's part Q&A. So I'm going to enable the chat feature in Google Hangout, but if for some reason that's not working, I'm going to invite you to send your questions to support@franharris.com, and Micah or Nick will take care of you on those questions. Okay. So send your questions to support@franharris.com, and I'll also engage the chat bar as well in case you can see that, but sometimes that gets kind of finicky. So I want to make sure you have an option to send us questions if you have some that you want answered today. So we'll get started in about 30 seconds. Stand by. I'm going to grab the presentation, and then we'll rock and roll here very, very shortly. Thanks for joining. All right. So it seems like my clock was not all that fast. We're going to go ahead and get started. I am Fran Harris. Get my mic adjusted here. Fran Harris, founder of Black Business University. So excited that you joined us today to talk about, what Black Business University really is, why it exists, and why you should, if you're not already a member, why you should become a member of Black Business University. Okay. So today is going to be part me on camera. For the most part, I introduce myself on camera, and then I go into a presentation because there's a lot of information that I want to get to. I don't want to rely on my memory to make sure you guys get this information. So welcome to BBU. First Black Friday Hangout. If you joined in launch week, which was a couple of days ago, you joined on launch day, just want to welcome you personally. I didn't get a chance to see you because that was all presentation mode. Thank you so much for taking the next step towards starting or growing your own business. I will tell you, if you were on that presentation, if you've seen it in replay, you know that we have some exciting things planned for BBU over the next few years. And in fact, since I saw you guys, which was about 2 days ago, or you were on the presentation with me about 2 days ago for the launch, we've already engaged investors for Black Business University. I didn't want to get into that when I was doing the initial presentation because, investing is interesting. I got my first investment in my business over 20 years ago. So I know they can ebb and flow, they can come and go and those kinds of things. But when I started sharing the vision of Black Business University, every single person I talked to got so excited about what BBU is going to become. Now, it is all for you. It is all about us growing our businesses, exploding our businesses. So we're going to need you along the way to really share what you need to become hugely, hugely successful. Because remember, we're going to be there holding you accountable. We're also going to be there. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be there cheering you on and celebrating you. So that's going to do it for me on camera for now. Let's go to the presentation where we can get into the Black Business Manifesto. So I'm using Google Hangout, which I encourage you guys to use for sure. It is a great platform for teaching and training. And one of the great things about Google Hangout is that it's free. That's one of the really great things about Google Hangout is that it's free. So right now you should be seeing my screen, and you do. You see my screen. So you can see today's agenda, okay? This is what we're going to be doing in the next 30, 25 minutes. We're going to talk about an overview of BBU, which I kind of went through on camera, but I'll do that again just very quickly. We're going to talk about the technology gap that exists between everyone else and African Americans, how to become a seller versus a consumer, which I touched on in the launch webinar with Black Business University, 6 ways to leverage the internet to grow your business. And then we're going to sign off with no excuses and a little bit of home fun. I don't call it homework. I call it home fun. So a little bit of home fun for you over the next few days before I see you again next Friday. So real quickly, an overview of BBU if you are just getting introduced to Black Business University for the first time ever. Black Business University was conceived I would probably say 6 or 7 years ago in my head. Didn't really come to fruition until 2013 when I put it out there and decided to engage a few entrepreneurs across the country and ask them what they thought entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, needed to be hugely successful. So we took that group as a beta group and we said, we're going to follow you for a year and a half or two until we feel like we have enough information to really bring this thing to the marketplace in the right way. So we followed these 50, 63 entrepreneurs. Some came in and went out. You know, people got busier and didn't give us as much information. Then they came back a year later. So we feel like we got a real good representation of what Black entrepreneurs are not only looking for and what they need, but what they want to help them achieve their goals and to fulfill their missions. So Black Business University exists simply to provide unparalleled education for Black entrepreneurs, but in a different kind of way. I mean, we have some great resources out there. We have Black Enterprise. I've been featured in Black Enterprise. I know the founders of Black Enterprise and the family that runs that great media conglomerate. Black Enterprise has existed for, I think, almost 50 years, which is phenomenal when you think about where our people were 50 years ago. So we've got resources out there that are doing a tremendous job in getting us the information, the empowerment that we need as it relates to growing our companies, or even for being professionals if you work for someone. What Black Business University does is it fills a niche that does not exist for Black entrepreneurs right now. First of all, in the digital marketing space, meaning online marketing, mobile marketing, all that great stuff, digital marketing, everything that's related to not the offline marketing and the traditional way that you market, Black Business University is filling that void. I have been an online marketing expert since 1999. When I launched my first business online in 1998, I knew that the internet was going to be the thing that was going to equalize us as it relates to our ability to become financially empowered. And so I started learning, getting coaching, making sure that I knew what we needed and what we were missing more than anything online to really help us grow our businesses. So what Black Business University will do is be that fill that hole in the marketplace on digital marketing. Now, we do a lot of traditional marketing. Obviously, that's my business. When I started my company in 1995, after I left Procter & Gamble, it was a traditional marketing company. It was a business and marketing company and training company. When the internet entered the picture, again, I go, this is where we're going. This is how we are going to truly, finally equalize the playing field by using the internet. So Black Business University is specializing in digital marketing. We're not ignoring traditional marketing. You'll hear me talk about that. You can't really separate them, but no one is teaching us and empowering us to leverage the power of the internet. And so BBU will fill that hole. That's one of the holes that we will fill. Now, we launched this week, had a great lunch, had a lot of fun. Some of you were live there with me. We had a lot of fun in the chat bar and the Facebook comments and those kinds of things. So I know there's a lot of excitement about what we're creating. What I'm really excited about, as you can tell, is the disciplined approach that we have to what we're offering. Here's what we learned and here's what we know. Here's what you guys have told us. You're overwhelmed. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. And you really don't need 63 hours of training every single week. We learned that in beta. So what we've done in BBU is that we have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday discipline. So Monday, we drop an interview with a Black luminary or a Black entrepreneur. That's not live. It drops at noon on Monday, every single Monday, but that doesn't mean you have to be there live. If you want to look at it at 6 o'clock that night or 3 o'clock that afternoon, that's your business, but it drops on Monday at noon Central. On Wednesdays, we drop a piece of wild card content. We call that Wild Card Wednesday. So it might be an infographic, it might be an audio, it could be a business template, it could be anything, an interview, another interview, or an audio. Anything goes on Wild Card Wednesdays. And then on Friday, as we are today, we are typically live for a little bit of training and then some Q&A. All right. That's the current agenda for Black Business U. All right. And so far, the feedback we got when we started talking about, okay, what if we had just a very simple approach to learning? You knew you're going to get live training on Friday, and then you had the whole week to kind of catch up, grow your own business. Use what you're getting in Black Business University to grow your business. And then you come on Friday and you get your questions. So we're excited about the format of BBU. And as I mentioned, if you were here earlier, then you saw me on camera. I got on camera to say hey to you guys and to show off my t-shirt, by the way, that says I am Black Business. You got to get one of those. So we're excited about what we're planning. This is just the first phase. If you were on the launch webinar, then you know we're bringing the heat, we're bringing the fire starting in September when we go to a format. We're going to keep this format, but when we also add the ability to teach and take courses. Online learning and teaching is I think it's up to a $100 billion marketplace. Online teaching and learning. So in September, of course, ironically, and it makes sense that it's back to school time, then Black Business University will roll out its first area of courses that you can take. And also, if you're interested in teaching, then you certainly should head over to blackbusinessuniversity.com and apply to teach. So that's my powwow. That's my real big early. I'm excited about it. In fact, let me celebrate you for being here. One more time. I'm celebrating you for being here, and we will jump right into our quick presentation for today. If you're just joining us, if you got here late, I am Fran Harris, founder of Black Business University. Thank you for joining us on this launch Black Friday Hangout. You see the agenda in front of you. So let's jump into the Black Business Manifesto. Now, I wrote the Black Business Manifesto because of everything I just said to you guys. There is a way that we can forever change our financial legacy, and it has to include the internet. It has to include the internet because it is by far the most significant invention of our lifetime. Okay, it is the most significant invention of our lifetime. It's the kind of thing that can put your business in a completely different arena. And yet most of us are not taking advantage of it as we should. Okay, so the Black Business Manifesto is a 7-page report that I wrote that is going to be given away freely online because it kind of spells and explains what we are not doing and what we must do in order to get our slice of this pie. Okay, so it's a straightforward, no hype, no pie in the sky, no baloney, no BS whatsoever report about the impact that the internet can have on our revenues and our ability to really change our communities forever. Okay, so that's what the Black Business Manifesto is all about. Let's talk about the tech gap. When people talk about technology, they don't typically think of Black folks. They don't typically think of us, even though we know that we are starting tech companies, that we've been in technology is not to the numbers that other folks have gotten involved in the tech game. So the tech gap in 2015, what I've learned is that it's not necessarily that we don't have technology. Now, there's no question about it. There are Black homes and brown homes where there is no computer. But what we do know is that close to 98% of the people in the world have a cell phone. And that's where my whole mantra about no excuses comes in, because if you've got access to the internet, if you've got access to a cell phone, believe me, there's something you can be doing to improve your financial situation. There's something you can be doing to have greater impact and income and influence. So the technology gap isn't that we are without technology. Maybe that was the case 10, 15, 20 years ago, but now everybody's got a cell phone. My 9-year-old niece has a cell phone. Everybody's got a cell phone. The question becomes, what are we doing with that cell phone? As entrepreneurs, what are we actually doing with that cell phone? And if you're not using it to improve your business, start a business, serve your community, then you can't really call yourself an entrepreneur. If you're not using the technology that we have to truly bridge the gap of poverty and wealth, then I don't really know what else to say about the state of our entrepreneurship. And that's what the Black Business Manifesto is all about. Okay, so it's not that we don't have access. It's how are we consuming it? So there's a report called the Pew Report, and it reveals that, African Americans have less likely than whites to use the internet, but it's how we use the internet. I'm just starting with the first paragraph in the manifesto. African Americans have long been less likely than whites to use the internet and to have high-speed broadband. Okay, that's changing. Then it moves on to talk about older African Americans, as well as those who have not attended college, are significantly less likely to go online or to have broadband service at home compared to whites. Okay, even that's changing. Now, here is where we have to do better. Overall, 73% of African American internet users and 96% of those ages 18 to 29 use a social networking site of some kind. Twitter use is very high for our demo. Facebook is closing in, Pinterest and Instagram coming on strong. Now, this is no surprise to us. We are social. We like to gather. That's what we do. We're tribal. Nothing wrong with that. But we're leaving impact, influence, and income on the table when we're only using technology to connect with friends and family. Nothing wrong with that. We're just leaving some stuff on the table because we're more into the networking. We're more to the social networking of it rather than the business networking that it affords us. And that's what has to change. Okay. So number one, kind of bullet point number one is we have access to technology. We all know that. Everybody's got a cell phone. But now we need to start looking at these social networking platforms that we frequent more than anybody else. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. We've got to start looking at these platforms as potential business partners. Okay. If we're going to be there in numbers, we have to be able to take some of that money off the table and leverage it to create and build our businesses and our communities. The next thing is we need to shift usage from being high consumptions. We're a high consuming buyer demographic. And we have to become sellers online. Nothing wrong with buying. Everybody loves buying. But we've got to shift some of that consumption to selling. Okay. So when we surveyed a beta group from December 23rd, 2013 to about July 2014, here's what we found out. We asked these folks, okay, so what are you, besides connecting with your friends and your classmates from high school, what else are you doing online? How many of you are selling on Amazon? Less than 10%. Were selling on Amazon. But over 90% of them had actually bought something on Amazon. Again, we're consumers and we're not selling. Now, here's the problem. Amazon, as you heard in the webinar that we launched this week, does $1 billion a month selling other people's stuff. If we're going to be making Amazon a billionaire every single month, and we're going to be contributing to that, we certainly should get a slice of that pie. Okay. We also surveyed our beta group over the course of that year and a half, and we asked them, why is list building important to building your long-term business? Why is it important to long-term business success? Most people had probably a database, their mental database in terms of the number of customers they had. Not kidding. One client had like 10,000 customers and did not have but maybe 600 of them in an email database. 10,000 customers and only had about 600 of them in a database, meaning on in an email marketing sequence, in an email marketing program so that they could communicate with them every single day or every week or whenever they wanted to. That is a problem, y'all. That's a huge problem when you've got a huge customer database, but you have no way to speak to those customers until you see them again. All right. So the problem is we're working double time to acquire our customers. So we've got to understand the power of being able to stay in touch via email or mobile. That was a huge problem. In fact, list building, email marketing can significantly cut your customer acquisition costs. Significantly. And what I mean by that is you got to know how much it costs you, what you have to spend to acquire a customer. Once you get that customer's email address, then now you've just significantly cut the cost that you have to spend to get that customer in half or more than half because you got the email address. Now you can talk to them whenever you want to. I want to give you that number again. This customer, this beta person had 10,000 customers and only 600 emails. Think about how much money this person was probably wasting trying to get that customer back into their door or back to their website or whatever. You're spending too much money. We're working too hard. I don't want us to work hard. I want us to be smart workers. Not hard workers, smart workers. Okay, so got to start building our list. The next one was only 2% of us had used Facebook ads or YouTube ads. Now, if you are on Facebook, you've probably seen an ad of mine at some point. I've been doing ads on Facebook since 2009, 2010, maybe before. So I've been doing Facebook ads for a long time, right? That's a pretty long time given that the platform is just, I think it's maybe 6 or 7 years old. So when it started, I started. Again, you guys have heard me talk about it. I take clumsy, imperfect action. Didn't know what I was doing to start out with Facebook ads, but I was able to fill up events, sell products. Even while I was learning how to do it, I was still able to profit from it because I was doing it and nobody else was doing it. So when we asked folks about how they were using Facebook, no surprise, they were using it to stay in contact, to plan their class reunions, to plan their family reunions. Again, nothing wrong with that, but you're not growing your business. When I asked them about YouTube ads, most of them didn't even know that YouTube had an ad platform that they could access. They thought it was just for big companies like Coca-Cola and Apple and American Idol and, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I mean, they thought it was just for big players. So I want to dispel that myth real quickly. You can advertise on Facebook for $5 a day or less. You can advertise on YouTube for $5 a day or less. And think about it. If you can drive traffic to your site or to your door for $5, I'm talking, 10, 15, that's customer acquisition smarts right there. That's understanding that you don't have to spend $15 to get a customer through your door. If you can spend 7 cents on Facebook to get them to come to your website, give them your free report like the Black Business Manifesto or whatever your report is, then now you've cut short that cycle of trying to acquire that customer. So again, this whole page is just about moving us from being on the reactionary part of the equation where we're just kind of letting stuff happen to us and becoming more proactive so that we can actually use social media platforms to grow our businesses, to further our causes, to strengthen our ministries. Whatever it is you do, the internet is there to help you do that. Okay. So we need to shift from being a high consuming demographic, high consumption buyers, and move to being more of sellers. All right. So let's talk about 6 ways to leverage the internet to grow or start a successful business. I only listed 6, y'all. There are probably 99 of these, but we would be here all day. These are the ones that I feel have the least barrier to entries. Okay. So the first one is creating an info product. Let's give it up for creating info products, by the way. Y'all are going to be so over me with these sound effects, but it keeps it fun. So 6 ways to leverage the internet to start and grow a successful business. First of all, create an info product. If you've got knowledge or experience on just about any topic, you can create an audio, a video, a report, or an ebook about it and sell it online. Now, here's what I want to show you. Everything I teach you, I do, right? I'm never going to talk to you and being in front of a microphone if I haven't done it. So I don't do that. So the Black Business Manifesto is an ebook. It's my lead magnet. It's a short report that I use to tell people about the gospel of Black Business University. That's what the Black Business Manifesto is. It's only 7 pages, right? If you're serious or even curious about being successful in business, you'll read a 7-page report, won't you? Of course. So do what I do. Create you can create a checklist, a 1-page checklist, a 3-page report, a 4-page ebook, whatever. It is a lead magnet. So I give this away. It's got great value in it. It's got great information in it. It's short, so people can consume it fairly easily and quickly. And then within your report, of course, you put your links to your website. You put your links to your products. Okay. That's how you use an info product to go viral, to help you build your business, to help you get more leads. Startup costs to do this, 0. You probably have a computer and you probably can type in Microsoft Word. That's all you need to get a viral report going. And guess what? I invite you, when you get the Black Business Manifesto, guess what I'm going to do? Is exactly what you should do, is you should invite people to give it away. Give this report to every Black person you know. It's valuable. Okay. So that's number one, create an info product. Number two, host a podcast. A podcast is just a fancy way of saying talk, share audio, get on your phone, use your memo app to do some audio, get on a Google Hangout like I'm doing right now and do a video, host a podcast. Just talk about what you know. Talk about what you're passionate about. You don't have to be an expert. If you love movies, do a podcast on movie reviews. Startup cost, zero. Number three, create a how-to video series. All you need is your smartphone and your know-how. If you've got a phone, and we know that 99% of the people in the world do, if you've got a phone, you've got a studio. If you've got a phone, you've got a studio. Set up your phone, literally talk to the computer, talk to your phone or your computer, and you can do your own how-to series on whatever you know or whatever excites you. Okay. Number four, let me go back to number three. Startup cost, zero. Zero. Number four, host webinars and sell your products. What I'm doing right now is training. It's a webinar. It's using a free platform called Google Hangouts. You guys heard about this in the launch website, in the launch webinar. It's free. It is absolutely free, and it puts it right into your YouTube channel. You can host your webinars, and at the end of the webinar, you can invite people to join your programs, buy your products, whatever. Okay. If you can talk and you're willing to get better at entertaining and presenting, webinars are for you. Startup costs, say it with me now, zero. All right. Number five, sell advertising on social platforms. Now, I never see us doing this. Now, think about it. If you've got 3,000 friends on your personal Facebook page, or 7,000 Twitter followers, or 500 friends and 500 Twitter followers, it doesn't matter. If you got 500 people who are engaged and they fit in a certain, if you got 500, let's say you're passionate about marriage, you're passionate about relationships, and you've got 200 people who are waiting every day to hear what you have to say about relationships. Guess what? You could put a relationship product in front of them very casually. Hey guys, I heard about this book. I checked out this book. Put a link to your affiliate link, put a link to your own product, and you can be selling through your social platforms. And if you don't have a product, let's say I see your feed and I go, wow, this person has 1,000 Facebook fans who are crazy about basketball, about women's basketball. Maybe I'll put my women's basketball book in front of them. So I'll contact you and say, hey, I see you've got a rabid following of fans who love women's basketball. Can I advertise on your Facebook page? Can I advertise on your profile? Boom. You just, you can do, I know people who do it for $5. Celebrities like Carmelo Anthony, he's like $2,500, but you're not Carmelo Anthony yet. So whatever you want to charge, you can charge. We are not doing these kinds of things. So if you're sitting here going, well, I don't have my own info product, Fran, I don't know how to talk on camera, here's something you can do that doesn't cost you any money. Startup cost, zero. Sell advertisement on your social platforms. Okay. And then the last one is become a virtual assistant. Sellers and online marketers are always looking for folks who can type, transcribe, speak, design, sell, promote. I mean, if you don't want to do it, there's probably somebody out there who will do it for you for a fee. Okay. So if you want to be one of those people, those service providers, you've got great skills, you're a fantastic word processor, or you're great at editing video, trust me, online marketers are looking every single day for people to take this stuff off their plates. Okay. Startup costs, zero. Now, what you see on the screen right now, 6 ways to leverage the internet to start or grow a successful business. Guys, literally, you can take one of those, 3 of those, all 6 of those. It doesn't matter. Each one of those represents potentially a 6-figure income stream. Each one of them. Okay. Figure out your sweet spot. Figure out the thing that you're going to focus on, that you're going to do every week, right? I'm going to be here, or one of my coaches is going to be here every week, every Friday at 12 noon Central. It's discipline. It's accountability. Figure out what you're willing to be accountable to do, responsible to do. You're going to show up to do it, and do it. And trust me, if there is an audience, you can make money doing it. If there is an audience, you can make money doing it. Okay. So I want you to think for a second just about how the evolution of ministry for us, the evolution of ministry. When I was younger, there was a church. I can't remember. I think it was Oral Roberts. So he would come on before I would go to Sunday school. Oral Roberts would be on television every Sunday morning, right? And he would say, something good is going to happen to you. And I remember that. And it was like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. And then, of course, at some point during the thing before I got ready to leave for Sunday school, they would ask for money. Nothing wrong with that, because the church has to thrive as well. But I want you to look at where that has gone. Now you've got ministers who have their books, they got movies, they got, again, I ain't hating on the ministers. I love that they're building their empires. I love that. But I also know that a lot of the time that we have in our churches and in our ministries are not spent empowering us to be financially independent, to be better in our relationships. I mean, there are so many opportunities that we have in our churches that we're not capitalizing on, that we're not taking advantage of the fact that we have a mass audience every Sunday, Wednesday, whatever it is, and we're not necessarily feeding the flock in the other areas that they really need to be fed. Okay. So if you ever want to know whether creating info products really work, look at TD Jakes, look at Joel Osteen, look at some of these other people. We've been buying books and reading books from the beginning of time. We've been sitting in mass audiences listening to people speak since the beginning of time. Why aren't you getting paid to do these same things? Why aren't you transforming your community, your family, your business, doing these same things? The internet gives you the opportunity to do that in a very inexpensive way. So the Black Business Manifesto is about putting it front and center in front of you and showing you that there is no reason that you should not be doing the absolute same thing that I do, the absolute same thing that people who are successful online marketers are doing and have been doing since the internet started in 1996, 95, something like that. Okay. So take a good look at these 6 ways, figure out what you are willing to commit to do, and then just get started. Guys, as I wrap up this Black Friday Hangout, because it's typically just about 30 minutes and then I'll open it up for questions. For the first time in our lives, we have no excuses. Really, and some people would argue that we never had any excuses, but I could see how, 300, 400 years ago, yeah, we didn't have the opportunities we have now. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. We didn't have those opportunities. Not even, the 60s, the civil rights and all that stuff. We've come up, no question about that. But for the first time, I really believe we have no excuses and no barriers to success. The only barriers we have are those that we create for ourselves. The stuff that's between our ears, the mindset stuff. But when it comes to physically making it happen, to finding the partners that we need to be successful, there are no excuses. There are no barriers. I will share with people a lot about my story. When I was 16 years old, I was very excited. I'd gotten a gifted student scholarship to go to Mexico. I was really excited to be an exchange student. And my mom dropped me off at the airport and, said goodbye. Give me a call when you get there. Let me know when you can call them. And everything in my world was great. And within 24 hours, everything in my world changed. My mother died unexpectedly of a heart attack. No warning, not sick, nothing. I'm in Mexico, thousands of miles away from my family. And I find out that my mother died. It changed my life forever. And then I was at that proverbial fork in the road. You can go one way or you can go the other way. And we all have those forks in the road. Some of us have them multiple times in our lives. Most of us do. But that was my first big fork in the road where I said, okay, I can go this direction, drug addiction, teenage pregnancy, delinquency, all the stuff that nobody would have blamed me for going that route. I was 16 years old. I lost my mom. But I made a different decision. I went the other direction. And so I know if you're listening to me right now, you are at some fork in the road. Maybe you've done well in business. Maybe you're just getting out of college. Maybe you are just retiring and you're trying to figure out, how do you make this next chapter of your life amazing? I will tell you that, first of all, getting on this webinar, joining me every Friday, becoming a member of Black Business University is a good step in the right direction. I will tell you that, because we are completely obsessed about Black business success. We are completely obsessed about that. And in fact, our annual mission is to help 10,000 folks make their first $100 online. We want to help 1,000 folks make their first 1,000 online or offline. We want to help 100 folks make their first six figures, $100,000. And we're going to help 10 folks make their first million in the next 18 to 24 months. We believe that. We're consistently here preaching the gospel of our success. We know that success runs in our race. We know that. And we've attempted to build something that gives you the simplicity to know that you can do it, and also the consistency to know that if you don't do it, we're going to be asking you, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you stepping up to the plate? That's the only thing that's ever changed anybody's life, is having that consistent instruction and education, knowing that you can do it, having that roadmap, and also having that accountability. So we're going to be leveraging our simple platform of Millionaire Mondays, Wildcard Wednesdays, and Black Friday Hangouts, where I am live, or one of my coaches is live, and we're going to do some quick training on Fridays and also answer your questions. Plus, you can look forward to, in September, during the back to school time, teaching and taking courses, leveraging the power of what you already know to make dough. Okay. So with that, I am going to round it out with a little applause, and then I will open it up for some questions. If you have questions, we'll hang around for a couple of minutes until you guys ask question. Again, if the chat feature is for some reason not happening, go ahead and send that to support@franharris.com, and we will take care of you. But if you can see my howdy, right now in the chat, then you should be able to chat back to me as well. So we'll see if we have any questions for us before we sign off and send you off on the weekend. You can send that question to support@franharris.com. Thank you guys for joining me today. It's been fun. Hope it's been exciting for you as well. And we're looking forward to hearing what kinds of businesses you guys are starting out there. I'll take a break and get a drink of water while we take some questions. All right, I do have one question. One question is, I have been wanting to start making money online for about 3 years, and I haven't been able to get my website up. Okay, so there are a lot of great tools, and this is from Cynthia. There are a lot of great tools out there that can help you get a website up. WordPress is a great one. There's a little bit of a learning curve with WordPress, but you can, when you get your domain name, if you go to places like HostGator or GoDaddy, when you sign up for a domain name, they have some very simple website builders. I just recommend just using what they have. Honestly, just use what they have, because it's gotten so much better than when I started making money online in 1998. It's much, much better. In fact, the first website I had in 1998, I had it developed, cost me thousands of dollars. But that's what everybody was paying back then. You know, we didn't know that you didn't have to do that. So today, literally, if you want to go get your domain name at HostGator or GoDaddy, you can get your website for like $7 a month. So there's really, again, no excuses, no barriers. You can get something up that literally is drag and drop, point and click. Just get it going, y'all. Here's the thing I want to tell you. If you're just getting started and you're wondering how you get your site up and all that great stuff. When I got my first site up in 1998, everybody thought that you needed a pretty website. Everybody thought you needed all the bells and whistles. And trust me, I had it all. I had people walking out on my website. In fact, a friend of mine, Doc Cheney, if you're listening, I'm talking about you. He had this great technology where he would videotape and then you would walk out onto your site. It was very cool. And everybody wanted that. Well, he created one of those platforms. So I would go into his studio and I would do my little, hey, this is Fran Harris. Thank you so much for coming to my site. Now that technology still exists and I see people doing that, but I was doing that like in early 2000s. And it was such a cool thing to have. But honestly, you got to ask yourself, is what you're doing affecting your bottom line? Is it having a positive payoff on your bottom line? Pretty is okay. Profitable is very good. Like, I'd rather have a site that makes me money, helps me achieve my goals, and I'm not all about pretty. Now, there's a very big difference between a bad website, meaning it's tacky and it's got typos. I mean, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't spend $3,000 on a website. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is learn how to serve your customer, serve your prospect, serve your client in a way that makes it easy for them to navigate your website and find what they need to do business with you. That's it. Don't try to go to pretty. It's not that deep. It's not that important. Just get a great website that is simple, easy to navigate, and helps people, leads people to where they need to go to consume your content or buy your products and help them. That's it. All right, let's see if we have anything for the questions, Cynthia. Let's see if we have any other questions before we send you off on your weekend. I will take another swig of juice. Okay, question from, I think this is Delphia. Maybe it's Delphia, I'm not sure. I am still working in my day job. By the way, Delphia, I call that a temporary inconvenience, by the way. So you're still working in your temporary inconvenience and want to know if the stuff on the internet, if I can do it part-time. Absolutely. No question about it. I mean, that's what's great about the internet. It never sleeps. It's kind of like New York. It never sleeps. So when you get off your job or before you go to your job, then you can spend 1 to 2 hours building your business. You know, let's say if you were, or in fact, you can create a coaching program on the weekends. I mean, there are no limits, honestly. So whatever you're thinking about setting up, I'm certain that it can actually be done part-time. That's how most people, in fact, I know a lot of people who are CEOs of big companies, and then they have products that they sell online. They have coaching programs that they do on the weekend. They do their own retreats. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do it. All right, if we don't have any additional questions, I'm going to invite you, if you are not yet a member of Black Business University, to go over to blackbusinessuniversity.com, get signed up, become a part of the family. Join us for our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday simple system for success. We're live on Fridays for Google Hangouts, or for Black Friday Hangouts, and for Q&A. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to sign off. Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you again for your vote of confidence and the faith that you have in Black Business University. We've got some big things coming up, y'all. Follow us on Twitter, Black Business U, and find us on Facebook, Black Business University. Go out there, make your move, make your mark, and make your difference. God bless you. I will talk to you next week.